Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Forged from Iron. But whilst you're here, please don't forget to like, comment on, and share the stream to your social media platforms. Why don't you subscribe to the YouTube channel if you haven't done so already? That'd be a great idea. And don't forget to hit that bell icon for alerts on new content. As always, guys, we thank you very much indeed for your support in this particular task. Speaking of which, Forged from Iron is proud to support Iron Supporting Food Banks. They are a group of West Ham United fans and friends inspired by the work of other football fan food banks around the country. They collect food and cash donations from Newham Food Bank in Beckton, who supply 7 distribution centres in the borough, 7 days a week, and hand out several hundred 3-day emergency food packs every month to families in need. They are also working with other groups to improve conditions for vulnerable adults and children in the Newham community. They are supported in their efforts by West Ham United Football Club, the WHU Foundation, LS185, London Legacy Development Corporation, Newham Council, the Met Police, Spire London East Hospital, Expedient Security, and a large number of West Ham and football fans. You can help by making a donation to their Just Giving page. You will find the link to this in the description section of the video details in this stream. Thank you for your support. Come on, you Irons. Now, just real quick, normally at this point, I would bounce straight into here is the review of. Real quick, Duke, if I may, because I think that this is something I need to share with friends of the channel. Now, as you will be aware, some months ago, we lost our friend Peach. Now, in the wake of that tragedy, I'm sure some of you may be aware of this, I took it upon myself to set up a GoFundMe page to try and raise a little bit of money for Peach's parents to try and not sort of mitigate their loss, because that's never going to happen. But obviously they had the expenditure of funeral costs and whatever else that pertained to the situation at the time. So this GoFundMe page was set up and it got to £2,190 was how much we raised. Okay. Now, GoFundMe obviously claw back a bit of that, and so there was about 80 quid of that went to GoFundMe, and that's fine, no problem. But there was £2,111.91 from memory that we got cleared. Now, there was some messaging that was going back between myself and Peach's father over a period of time. There were certain issues that we had to iron out. I'm pleased to report, and I'm not gonna put the screen grab on because it's got Brian's email address on, and I'm mindful of the fact he might not want this put out there for all and sundry. But when it was converted to Canadian dollars via PayPal yesterday, I'm pleased to report that Peach's parents, Brian and Veronica, received the grand total, thanks to you guys and everybody else that contributed to it, the grand total of $2,820.49 Canadian. I'd like to thank you on behalf of Duke and myself. I'd like to thank you on behalf of Peach's parents. That was a really magnificent effort. Nothing will ever bring Peach back with regret. And they will always have a place at the table where he should be sat fundamentally, and he won't be. But it's given them a little bit of breathing space for certain expenditures that they have had to incur as a result of his loss. And like I say, I'd just like to thank you, and I'm going to raise a glass to toast the memory of a very dear and departed friend, that being the one and only Matthew Wren, otherwise known as Peach. God bless you. I just felt that was necessary to share with you guys, because I'm mindful of the fact that some of you out there might have been asking the question, what happened to the money? Where did it go? Blah, blah, blah. So I just wanted to level off with everyone and just make sure that everybody knew that it's now done. It's taken care of. And yeah, they've anyway, I'm rambling on now. I'm getting a little bit, yeah. Right. Yeah. Liverpool 1, West Ham United 0. Let's change tack. Duke, what did you make at an hour before kickoff when you saw the starting lineup that David Moyes put out? What was your thoughts?
So there was one part that concerned me, and it was right back.
Problem area of late, isn't it?
It is, and lo and behold, it's where we were let down, Rob. To be fair, I felt buzzing for Wally, buzzing for little Wally. He got his first Premier League start, and although I have a slight concern that there's something going on with Paqueta. He has apparently quite a serious injury from what I'm being led to believe that there's something wrong there.
I've heard varying reports from 2 weeks that he could possibly miss the World Cup.
Yes. And then obviously, like I say, Flynn Downs gets his start, and I was buzzing for him. But right back concerned me, and lo and behold, it was right back that ultimately I felt was part of the reason we lost the game. But I was excited. I'll be honest with you. I was joined by Budgie from Green Street Elites. I was joined by Paul Stewart.
Not that Paul Stewart.
Not that Paul Stewart, but those who watch the channel when we've done the interviews will have seen Paul ask a few questions. All in all, I think there were about 6 West Ham fans that I was joined by, 6 of us. And we had probably about 8, 10 Liverpool fans in the pub. So there was a lot of there'd been a lot of banter going backwards and forwards between myself and the Liverpool fans during the City game. And I basically wanted to generally make a nuisance of myself in my pub, knowing that I wasn't going to get barred. So it started with me singing, sign on with a pen in your hand.
You didn't do the one about the in your Liverpool slums or anything, did you?
I started to, but we stopped that one quite quickly. He's only a poor little Scouser. I think that one came out a couple of times.
Oh, the old classics.
I won't lie to you, Rob. I'm feeling very uncomfortable right now. There is a man in one of the rooms directly opposite the flat, walking around in a pair of boxer shorts. I'm feeling very uncomfortable right now. For the first time in forever, I've got my blind open. I've got the blind open in my office.
Do you want to go and shut it?
I feel a bit like Ross and Rachel, in Friends, when they look out the window. I was basically, I wanted to be a nuisance of myself. As I say, I'd spent the night calling Darwin Núñez a shit Andy Carroll.
I bet that came about you on the arse, didn't it?
Well, by the end of the game, I was singing about Gianluca Scamacca being a shit Darwin Núñez. So yeah, there was, like I say, there was a lot of fun, a lot of banter going backwards and forwards, and a lot of the comments. I'm going to be joined now, aren't I?
Hey, hang on. In case you're wondering, it's his little boy.
All right, but get going.
You all right, Logan?
Hi.
How are you?
Good.
I'll tell you what. Do you want to kick your dad out of the chair? We'll talk to you instead. Is that all right?
No.
All right.
But I can kick him.
No.
Oh, no, don't do that.
Get going, you. Put some bloody clothes on. Go on,
when I said kick, Logan, it was metaphorical. It wasn't literal.
Oh.
Go on, go play with
You've
the
been a good boy.
Yeah.
Good lad. Keep it going.
cats. You can't get out. Go on. No,
I'm a
piss
swan.
off. Get out. So yeah, like I say,
Can I just come in on this one, Hammerhead? We wouldn't have won 4-1 because we only had 3 shots on target.
I mean, to be fair,
Agreed, Epic.
He still don't know.
Hey, Richard.
I think now I've had time to process and work off me hangover. I think we played quite well, Rob.
Fair.
To be fair, first half was very cagey on our part, but again,
Cagey.
yeah,
That is an understatement.
yeah. No, to be fair, listen. I see what the idea was, and I know I've seen. I haven't seen other videos today. I'll be honest. I've been working today, and I have got to play catch up with Gio and Gonzo's videos for the last few days, like their reviews and stuff. But I did see one where they say about Moyes has to change tact when it comes to playing against the big six, and
especially away.
part of me agrees, part of me disagrees, because to be fair, we were in that game. We were in that game, regardless of what anyone says how we played, regardless. I say cagey, you say understatement. You know what I mean? We were in that game. We
in the first half, I'm talking. Second half was a marked improvement.
No, definitely. But that's what I mean. In general, we finished that first half. We were still in the game. We still could have taken something, if not everything, from that game. You know, all right, it could have been slightly different if Darwin Carroll's stunning, and I will say stunning, because the control, the turn, and the hit was absolutely magnificent. The only thing missing was the goal being, 3 or 4 inches the other side. Yeah, but Sharky, you can say that, but like I say, we were still in the game. Tactically, we were still in the game. It's, you look at the bigger picture as well. I get it's frustrating, but for me, we were still in the game, and rightly or wrongly, the way he chose to play put us in that position. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna I want to try and focus on.
Yeah, he has beaten a top 6 team away, but it was before they were really a top 6 team in Manchester City.
Yeah,
and also Tottenham as well.
I mean, look, there's not many teams that are going to go to Anfield this year and be in a game against them. We were in a game. We showed up. First half we kept ourselves in it. Second half we came out. There was a marked improvement. I mean, you got to think that first half could have been completely different. That half-time scoreline could have been completely different if Virgil van Dickhead doesn't do what he does, and I believe there should be retrospective action because it's gamesmanship. It's
seen that many times though.
Yeah.
They all do it.
And listen, if we'd got a penalty the other way and we'd done it and they'd missed, I wouldn't necessarily be defending it, but no.
Do you actually think that scuffing of the penalty spot that you're referring to for the Bowen penalty made any fundamental difference?
Absolutely none whatsoever. The fact that Jarrod Bowen has scored 3 penalties and gone the same way at the same height, at the same speed for every single one of them, Alisson went, well, this is fucking obvious, isn't it? I mean, listen, the first half was poor. It was cagey. It was poor. It was uncomfortable to watch at times. I have to say, when they went 1-0 up, I turned the TVs off in my pub and pissed them off so they couldn't watch the replays. but knowing that the cross came from the right-hand side, you know, I saw the comments in the chat that if it was if Soufal had been out there, he would have stopped the cross. You know, it was for me, it felt like a very cheap goal to concede.
Do you know who I think we missed
Go
in
on.
that situation? I think we missed Craig Dawson, because I think if Craig Dawson was there, Craig Dawson would have been in Ben Johnson's ear role, because he'd have been the right centre-back out of
Yes.
Zuma and Dawson.
Mm.
I think Dawson would have been in Johnson's ear role telling him, get the fuck out to him.
Yeah.
Instead, he sort of like, he half went out and then he sort of meandered sort of horizontal, and you're like, what the fuck's he doing?
A little bit like a little bit like Zuma for the goal against Fulham when we went 1-0 down. Yeah. I'll be honest, mate. I think we can come away from Anfield holding our heads high. We gave them a game. It was a shipwreck goal to give away. We missed a penalty. You know, just talking first half here at the moment. And I think...
I have to give Alisson credit for the save.
Yeah, I mean, listen, he did his homework, Rob. Homework's been done. It's that simple, isn't it? You know, Bowen goes that way. Bowen doesn't mix it up. You know, I personally believe we probably should have given it to Skamaka. He's a striker. You know what I mean? It's irritating. But, no, all in all, I thought the first half... no, I really don't agree with that. I'm sorry. I don't.
It's an opinion, and to be honest with you,
No,
I can see where he's coming from, Marmot.
But I'll be honest with you, West Ham fans right now are suffering with delusions of grandeur if they think that Poch or Tuchel would come to West Ham. It ain't happening. It ain't happening.
We're not talking about Moyes going, but I think
but I'm saying,
I don't think it's an unreasonable assertion to make to turn around and say that Moyes is at a certain level. Do you know what I mean? And you look at his time at Everton, and it's I think he's just capable of going so far with the team. And I'm not saying Moyes out. I'm not. I'm perfectly happy with him, actually, all things considered. But there was the video that Gio put out earlier today, and I was watching it and I was thinking, bloody hell, he's read my mind, because it is David Moyes away from home against top 6 teams. You might as well just write it off. You look at the record; it's absolutely piss poor. It's like there's just this inferiority complex when we're playing a top 6 team away from home. It's like he's sort of like, he just sets up containment. That's all he does. He sets up containment. Look at that, Duke. We set up with a 4-4-2 formation with a defensive midfielder playing at right midfield. I have never heard of a holding right midfielder in my life until yesterday.
Yeah, but it wasn't. Because if you actually watch the game, it really wasn't. It was actually a 4-3-2-1 formation with Bowen and Fornell in off the flanks, with the 3 boys sitting in front of the back 4. Downs wasn't out on the right other than to close down space. He actually played as part of a midfield central 3. Whereas we normally go a 4-2-3-1, he actually went a 4-3-2-1, and Bowen drifted out wide. Started the game and the setup and everything. He actually the 3 boys were in front of the back 4. Then you had the 2 boys in, but just slightly wider, and then you had Skamaka up top. Now, I mean, I see the comments. I've got a question for Ahmet and pretty much anyone else in the chat. You know, you got these guys that are saying we're not going to progress any further. Well, we've got 2 years of European football. Okay, we've gone 40, what will be 43 years without a trophy by the time we get round there.
Thanks for
Okay.
reminding me.
That's all right. You were 36 when we won the last one.
Let me just pull that knife out of my back.
I was only 18 months old. So my question to the group is, okay, let's say we've 2 years qualification Europe via the league. 2 of the best finishes we've ever had in the top flight. 2 of the best. I'm not saying it was the best. 2 of the best top flight finishes.
Well, it was the best back-to-back seasons.
Yeah. Let me ask, if we win the Conference League this year, if we lift that trophy at the end of the season, and we then play European football again next year, we finish, let's say, top 8 this season, and we win the trophy, continue progress under David Moyes. He'll be the first manager, and I'll have to sit down and work out how many managers have come and gone since we won the FA Cup in 80.
I can do it right here for you. Lou Macari, Billy Bonds, Harry Redknapp, Glenn Roeder, Alan Pardew, Alan Kirbishley, who came after Kirbishley? Zola, Grant, Allardyce, Bilic, Moyes, Pellegrini, Moyes again. So that's 13.
So it's 12 because Moyes is Moyes.
Yeah.
Moyes, yeah. So you've got 12 managers there that have that didn't win a trophy with West Ham.
What
after
about the Intertoto?
Fuck the Intertoto, right? Fuck the playoffs. I'm talking about a trophy, right?
Okay, all right.
He puts himself up there. For me, I personally think he's the best manager we've had since Lyle, and I hand on heart believe that. I know others don't, and I know others think, Redknapp and Bond, yeah. For me, the 2 back-to-back seasons qualifying for Europe, the 2 of the highest finishes that we've ever had in the top flight. If he brings a trophy home, he is up there as one of the most successful managers in West Ham history.
Yep.
I don't think you can ask for much more progression under one manager than what we're getting right now. And I think we can continue. If he wins that trophy, I get what people are saying about him not being able to compete with the top 6. But I'd also like to point out,
I don't think he even tries, Duke. I think that's the thing that pisses people off.
But Rob, we don't even have we don't have the players to compete with the guys in the top 6.
I would argue neither do Brighton, but Brighton looked like they went to Anfield and had a go the other week.
Whole different with under Potter.
No, it was after he left. It was with the De Zerbi. I think that was his first game in charge, as a matter of fact.
Who?
Is that De Zerbi, the manager?
He is very deserving.
Yeah.
I thought it was a good one. I'm not being funny. A lot of our players wouldn't have got in that Liverpool squad yesterday. I don't believe anyway. I'd still pick Scamacca over Nunes. But it will come. We are developing a team. We are developing a squad, a better squad. I'll be honest. I saw Rice last week pounding his chest and kissing that badge. And I know what people are going to say. Oh, they all do it. I saw a guy there celebrating that goal that didn't look like he wants to leave.
I don't think he wants to leave, but let's be honest, he probably knows in his heart of hearts he has to if he wants to achieve his ambitions. And I'm perfectly cool with that.
Win trophies.
He's not going to want, the Conference League.
We can qualify for the Champions League at some point with him in our squad. If we built a squad around him, we can qualify for Champions League.
That costs money, though, Duke.
We spent quite a lot.
We did, but wasn't money spent.
Opinion, only building on what needed to be built on, and that's like 3 transfer windows worth of money.
Yeah. So we've played catch up in that last transfer window on previous windows of lack of investment.
But then proof in the pudding will come in January and in the summer if the commitment is there to build a team that will compete at the highest levels with the best teams in our league.
Fair. As far as our opportunities were concerned, Duke, we only had 3 shots on target. The penalty was obviously one of them.
Yeah.
And we discussed that was a pretty tame effort for a penalty from Bowen. But then we come to the second half, and the performance was much better. I'm not going to say it was Brazil 1970 or anything like that, but there was a change in gears, and we were testing Liverpool and we were posing questions of them. We still only managed to conjure 2 shots on target, unfortunately.
Yeah, but they I'll be honest, I actually thought Liverpool almost played the perfect game last night. We know our strengths, and most of the league knows our strengths. And our strength is that we can soak up quite a lot of pressure, and we can attack very quickly. We can go from back to front at some very high speed, quick tempo, high. Liverpool didn't give us that option yesterday. Even Trent, I do believe, if my memory serves, didn't get forward all of that often. If my memory serves, he did spend a lot of time in a defensive manner.
Look there, it is his average position.
Yeah, halfway line. He, 9 times out of 10, that's
Robertson
66.
was further forwards.
Yeah, that 66 will be up where whoscored.com. You know what I mean? That's where he would spend a lot of his time. So Klopp actually played a really good game yesterday because he realised that we could get in behind. Yep. And you've got to bear in mind, on that side of the pitch was Fornals for us.
Yep.
Yeah, if we'd had a pacey bastard over there, like I mentioned the other day about having Antonio and Bowen start left and right.
Or Cornet.
Or even Cornet, yeah.
He was available.
Then you would have seen, again, probably Trent even further back because we had the pace to get in behind. Listen, Liverpool set up right yesterday. They didn't give us the way out that we normally have. And that's where I will then defer and agree with some of the comments down here in the chat that, we've only got one way. Our tactics are stale. We don't kind of have a plan B. We tend to have managers in the past that haven't had a plan B. Allardyce only ever had plan A.
Yep.
Bilic seemed like he only ever had plan A, and that was give the ball to Payet. There's something that, teams have sussed us out, but we're still able to do damage to them. Whereas Liverpool, like you say, we only had 3 shots, 2 of them come in the second half. And I'll tell you what, we were very unlucky with one of them, that Milner's knee is as big as it is and Alisson's arse as it is. I mean, luck's with you, that goes in, Rob.
True.
That goes in.
But then you make your own luck, you could argue.
It's annoying because I personally think second half we were good enough for something.
I don't disagree. One thing that kind of frustrates me, have you heard this thing about what Michael Antonio said on his podcast with Callum Wilson? He's let the cat out of the bag and pretty much owned up to the fact that as far as the tactics at West Ham are concerned, first half hour or the first half of the match, whatever, is pretty much a containment job. Now, I don't actually have a problem with that when we're going away to Liverpool. I do have something of a problem if that's our tactics at home to Fulham, at home to Wolves, away to Southampton. I personally think that with the squad that we've got and with what we've achieved in the last 2 seasons in our league position and whatnot, is that we shouldn't be going out there with a containment mentality. We should be going out there with the mentality of we're going to tear this lot a new one. And it's fairly evident to me that that's very far away from being the case.
I will agree and disagree on a statement like that. I would disagree with the fact that we shouldn't. I disagree with the fact that you say we shouldn't be coming out playing containment football, but I also agree with you when you say, or partially agree with you when you say,
certainly not at home, Duke.
That's what I was about to say. No, and that's what I was about to say. When you're playing teams at home, outside of the top 6, the teams that we should be knocking off the park, then yes, we should be coming out and we should be saying we're coming after this game. We're going to take this game. What I don't agree with is, we shouldn't be playing containment football, because all it takes is a couple of silly mistakes when we're playing our gung-ho attitude type of football, and all of a sudden we're 2-0 down against, or 1-0 down against a team like Fulham, against a team like Wolves, against a team like Southampton. And I know you've paused, you've frozen. I'm waiting for you to come back on, so I'm just going to keep talking. Whereas on the other side of the coin is, it's not necessarily containment football, but it's also it's game management. It's still being in a game. I turned around and I made a comment. We were away at Anderlecht, and it's in. If you go back and watch the previous videos, it's in the review that we did of the Anderlecht game, and I said tactically, Moyes got that right for me. We were in the game after 70 minutes, away from home against the best team other than us in our group, and we go and get a goal and we win 1-0. Tactically, it's spot on. Tactically, we're in the game up until 90 minutes. Bang. My mate's in the chat. Hiya, Steve. Nice of you to join us. How comes I never slag off 4 nows?
Hang on.
But I have an agenda against Ben Rama. It's just stupid. Steve, if you go back and watch a few videos, mate, I've been bigging up Ben Rama. I've been making comments that Ben Rama is showing flashes of some absolute fantastic football.
Probably our best player from minute 60 onwards.
Without a doubt, he came on with the intention of beating players. He came on with the intention of grabbing the ground by the scruff of its neck and taking it on. So please don't come on here, start spouting your bullshit, because it ain't going to work. Go back and watch previous videos, my man, and then we can have a conversation. Thank you. Now fuck off. Going back to the comments around, the attacking football, the gung ho. I'd rather be in a game at 0-0, 1-0 down like we were yesterday against Liverpool, and create the opportunities to get back into a game. Okay, Liverpool played the right game yesterday. They didn't give us the chance to break in and get behind. Liverpool outplayed us in that sense of the word. So I paused because Muppet Man's
I thought my internet was pissing around again. I was like, oh no!
No, he's trying to be a dick and he's trying to rile me, and I'm determined not to even give him the time of fucking day. So sorry, Steve, I'm not biting. I'm really not. It ain't worth my time. You're not worth my time. You're not even worth me breathing for. So just go away and leave it alone. Go slag me off on your channel if you need to. Go make up some bullshit newspaper story about me if you want. I don't give a fuck. Just go away. Yeah, I'd rather be in a game, Rob, until until the right time. And then if we can, certain games we can get the win. But I do agree that there should be games where we should be going out with the mentality of, we're going to take these guys apart. I do agree with that. There are games
the thing
like
that frustrates me. Like I say, I've got no problem with a containment mentality when you're going to the Etihad, when you're going to Anfield. I get it. They've got players that can tear you a new one in the blink of an eye, right? And kill you within the first half hour of a game kicked off, right? I don't, like I say, that I can almost understand it. I don't like it, but I can understand it, right? But not at home. Not at home. I have seen it this season. I mean, like I say, I do think we set up the first. I mean, when I saw them comments from Antonio, it was like, yeah, do you know what? He's probably just confirmed what I probably in my heart of hearts knew that I've seen this season in games at home against opposition that I think we shouldn't be setting up that way against. We set up that way a little bit in the game against FCSB. Well, they're rock bottom of our group. We should be going out there and absolutely ripping them to shreds and getting that game done by half time. I just found those comments really bizarre.
I agree, and listen, that's. I can't say any more than I've already said on it. I agree with the fact that we should be coming out against teams like FCSB, against teams like Silkeborg, against teams like Southampton, Fulham, and we should be going for the guy that throws the balls up in a circus. We should be going for him. But there are certain games.
Do you think it's fear? Do you think it's too much respect? What's going on? I do
feel it's too much respect. I do think it's too much respect for the opposition. I do, but that being said, it is what it is. No comment.
Yeah. Anyway, we got Bournemouth on Monday. Now, again, that's a game at home. Now, I know Bournemouth have been in good form lately, Duke, but I'm sorry. I can't have him setting up defensive against Bournemouth at London Stadium. I just can't.
No. And listen, it is what it is. I mean, I can't. If he's not the right man for the job, Rob, then he will be moved on. The owner,
right man for the job for the last 3 seasons.
Yeah,
no doubt about it.
And right now, I've already agreed that we need a plan B. We do need other tactics. We do need other arrows in our quiver, strings to our bow, whatever cliche you want to use. We do, and there's no two ways about that.
Yep.
I could sit here now and come up with, I don't know, 4 or 5 formations, 4 or 5 set of tactics that I feel that we could adopt in games, right? And I could quite easily do that. I could speak to my brother and probably get 5 other ones. Different set of tactics, different set of formations, and Moyes needs to have that in his locker. Unfortunately, he's choosing not to for whatever reason. He likes his 4-2-3-1. He likes it to. He wants it to work. He likes playing a 3-5-2. Unfortunately, I personally don't think we have the players to be able at the moment to be able to play three at the back. I just don't, if we can get a fully fit Zuma, if we can get a fully fit.
Has he been fully fit since he kicked his cat?
I don't think he has. I think he broke a toe on the fucking thing's forehead. I will agree with Sharky. He's been the best manager that we've had since John Lyall. I don't care. John Lyall was a better manager. I'm saying everything that has come between John Lyall and the Moyes we have in the last few seasons, there has been inferior managers to David Moyes every single year up until now. I'm sorry, and I know what Eastside Views there says that he's finished. He really isn't, and that's a really fucking embarrassing comment. There has been no better manager at Upton Park and the London Stadium than David Moyes since John Lyall. And I include Redknapp, I include Bonds, I include Allardyce, I include Pellegrini. Pellegrini went off and won whatever he won with City and everything else. Fine, I get that. But for me, what Moyes has delivered in the last 2 years since he returned is more than any other manager previous. Listen, Eastside, if you feel I'm rude, please feel free to let yourself out the door and don't let it hit you on the arse on the way out. You don't have to stay. You don't have to listen to me. I don't give two monkeys. I'm sorry, I don't. People can have their opinions. You're here for bait, in my opinion.
Who are you talking to, Steve? Who's Eastside? Who's Steve? Who the hell's Steve? I don't know. I think he's got his wires crossed. I'm assuming Eastside Views is a he.
Listen, I know damn well who Eastside is, Rob. I know damn well who Eastside is. We all fucking know who Eastside is.
Okay. Listen, I can understand people getting the ump. I'd like to say I've got a little bit pissed off because of those comments that Antonio made, because like I say, he's probably told me something I already knew, in all honesty, hand on heart, that there is this sort of containment mentality that seems to have been out there this season. I've got to be honest, and it has frustrated me. You look at his record against the top six teams; it's undeniable. It's pitiful. It is pitiful. But just taking a step back from that for a moment, to give him his credit, I like to try and be even-handed. I'm saying that I've got the ump with him about the style of football. I think we're too respectful. I think we go to the top six teams with a mentality of let's try and sort of like keep them at arm's length for as long as possible and try and hit them in the last 15 minutes, half hour, whatever. Game could be fucking gone by then. I'd much rather meet him in the centre of the ring and have a go. Yeah. You say that he's the best manager since John Lyall, and I would you could use the argument he's actually statistically our best manager, full stop, because he's the only guy that's got top 7 finishes in the top flight back to back. Okay, I'll take that one. That's fine. In terms of the style of football, I got to say that it does do my head in. It does do my head in. It's frustrating, and I'm sure I'm not the only one. I think that the best manager, in my opinion, for the football that they produced, the results that they got, the whole package, for me, the best manager since John Lyall was Harry Redknapp. Just my opinion. I know he's not flavour of the month. I know he went to Tottenham. I know he did the dirty on Billy Bonds, allegedly. But I'm talking just purely from a footballing point of view, in terms of the results that he obtained, in terms of the players that he got, in terms of the football that he produced by and large. In my opinion, Harry Redknapp all day long. But that's just me.
And that's fair enough.
I do think he's kind of a victim of his own success. I think he's kind of a victim of his own success, Duke. And I think what's happened is because West Ham fans have been conditioned over the years to mediocrity and failure by and large, let's be completely honest about it.
Yeah,
we've had the last 2 seasons of relative success. And then all of a sudden in the summer, we spend all that money, 180 million or whatever. The expectation bar gets raised, whether he likes it or not, by that relative success. and that expenditure, everybody's sights, everybody's targets have been ratcheted up, and we've had a shit start to the season. It's the perfect storm. Everybody's sort of like got the ump.
I don't have the hump. I'm a very
I say everybody. That's an exaggeration.
no. I know what you mean. I'm actually, for me, I'm quite. I'm being pragmatic on it. It's 10 games, 11 games, 10 games, whatever it is now.
11 now.
We're 13th. We're not a million miles off of the top 8. I think it is, if I remember rightly. Teams are going to win games. Teams are going to lose games. I'm not concerned. I think yes, Josh. They could possibly well be now amongst some portions of the fan base.
Understandably so.
Yes and no. I can agree with that statement and disagree with that statement. And if you give me some time, I will give you some arguments on both. But right now, I think that to a degree, in my opinion, and again, it is only my humble opinion, Robert, I think the fans need to back off a little bit and just allow it to just go with it. Just go with it. The season's nowhere near over. We've got 27 games to go. For those saying our season's already over is ridiculous.
No. Not
Near
having that.
People saying, each side, they're saying we're not going to get top 7. His top 7 is ridiculous right now. Until we are mathematically out of the race for the top 7, then we can still get top 7. It's an absolutely piss poor statement to make that the season's over and we're not going to be. You can't make that statement all the time that mathematically it's still possible. Mathematically, we can still win the fucking Premier League. Mathematically, Man City can still get fucking relegated. Like, it's not going to happen. I get that.
Yeah.
Until it's mathematically impossible to say something, you can't say that it's that. You know what I mean? It's just stupid. It's stupid. It's irritating. It frustrates me. All these doomsayers, all these negative Nancys. I can't, Rob. I can't. We've had 2 fantastic seasons, and all of a sudden, our fan base. Sorry, let me rephrase that. Certain parts of our fan base, certain parts of our, our support have turned.
Can I just ask Eastside a question real quick on the basis of this comment that he's made? He, she, they, whatever. Eastside, if I might directly ask you a question. If, as you say there, we're not going to get top 7, Conference League should be the focus. If we won the Conference League and if we finished, say, 14th, for argument's sake, in your opinion, given that that's our first trophy since 1980, proper trophy, and our first European competition trophy since 1965, would you say that that is a successful season? Get back to me. Because I think I would take that all day long, personally. I really would. I think we've been so starved of silverware. If you offered me right now, you're going to get 14th in the Premier League. You're not going to be in a relegation battle, but you're not going to hit the heights in the league that you did the previous 2 seasons. But you are going to win the Conference League and you're going to qualify for the Europa League next season by virtue of that fact. You offered me that right here, right now, Duke, I'd snap your arm off.
Mate, I mean, as I say, There are certain parts of these fan base that have gone with delusions of grandeur, Rob. You know, that like I say, there was a couple of weeks ago people calling for Moyes out, and when you turn around and say, well, who comes in? Oh, Tuchel, Pochettino, behave yourselves. Like, it will cost us an extortionate amount of money to be able to convince one of those two managers to come on board, right? It would cost us an extortionate amount of money. Now, that being said, you know, there'd also have to be some assurances made to Poch and Tuchel coming in, that Moyes that Sullivan and Gold keep their fucking noses out of anything to do with the playing side of the team. You know, they deal with what happens in the ballroom and that's it. Transfers are down to the manager and his scouting team. Absolutely fuck all to do with the backroom team. They're like the ballroom. And we listen, we know damn well that it's not going to happen. We were told at the start of this season that, or in the summer last year, that, that they don't have their fingers in the pies anymore. Well, we listen. We've heard to the contrary, Rob, haven't we? Yeah, we've heard to the contrary that this doesn't happen, and that's going to be a lot for a manager to come in. We know that Gold and Sullivan aren't going to give up that kind of want. Listen, we know that Sully likes to play football manager. Yeah.
He's Wellington Paulista.
Yeah. Who the fuck are you? Oh, I'm a new signing. Brilliant. But then
How far can he hit it ball?
What if Hammerhead? What if he wins the Conference League? That's taking us further than we've been in the last 22 years, 23 years by the time we win it, and it'll be further with anything else that we've won in Europe, as Rob says, since '65. I take that as progress. I see that as taking us further. Who's Steve? That's Rob.
I'm Rob.
That's
Eastside. Pleased to meet you.
Moyes has never won anything. He'll be sacked by then. Another embarrassing comment. Kretinsky's in town. He'll pay for the likes of Poch. If I may, Kretinsky right now has fuck all money because it's all tied up because of this Ukraine bollocks. Stop being silly. So yeah, I mean, I think certain portions of the fan base, are, as I say, they're suffering from delusions of grandeur. They're suffering from
raised expectations.
Right? Yeah, they are.
The last 2 seasons.
Listen. Use your brain a little bit.
I don't think it's delusions. I think it's. I'm not being funny. I think
No,
because
I think it is.
Well, I don't know because if we'd have finished 6th and then finished say 12th, do you know what I mean? But because we finished 6th and 7th and sandwiched in between that was a European semi-final, I don't think it's delusions, dude. I think it's and then sort of like 180 million quid's worth of players walk through the door. I don't think it's delusions. I think it's expectations.
Mate, there's a very fine line between the two.
Possibly.
That's where I'm at. If I may, could you do us a favour, Steve? Then stop talking about yourself in the third person, because up here you've put it won't happen, Steve. Are you telling yourself, or is his name Steve Moyes?
Steve Moyes. Who knew?
It seems to me like you're talking about yourself in the third person. And this one
he might
here,
be Zlatan Ibrahimovic. Then
behave yourself, please.
Or The Rock, he does that as well.
Hold up.
What?
I'm trying not to bite, Rob, and I know I'm being goaded, and I'm not going to do it because I'm not going to give fucking idiots the pleasure. I'm not. I'm sorry.
Gary
it's-
on his channel is deluded.
Yeah,
Who's Gary?
I reckon this is. I reckon he's got problems. He's got multiple personalities. No one's saying if you're a Moyes out, you ain't a fan. You can have your opinion.
Yeah, he didn't
I
say
don't
that. In
agree
fairness.
with your opinion, but that's your opinion. You can still be a fan and be Moyes out. Now, this is my favourite comment of the evening, Rob.
What's that?
From everyone that's left. In fact, I will go as far to say, Rob, in our nearly 2 years of doing this show, this channel, this is my favourite comment that's ever been made. So, Steve, congratulations, you are number one in my Duke's favourite comments, and it's this one. I love it. I apparently I have no ambition. Fantastic. Lee's actually come back now, Rob, with an even better comment. He now takes number one spot in my favourite comment ever. Lee's in. Brilliant.
Maybe it is.
Could be.
Maybe Eastside Views is zippy.
You can come back to me when we're bottom three by the World Cup.
I feel a bet coming on.
No, because I'm not going to waste my time with it, Rob. I'm really not. I'm not.
We had this last season, didn't we, with a certain someone?
Oh, yeah, and you know what? It wouldn't surprise me if they were all the same people, or they're all in the same little group. You know, these keyboard anonymous people. You know, they go these. Hi, my name's Steve, and I'm a keyboard warrior. I'm just not. I just can't deal with it. I'm sorry. And thank you, Steve, for your wonderful comment there. Again, that's where we're at, isn't it?
I'm Spartacus. No, I'm Spartacus.
What's this? Hang on, I want this one now. I think another prominent point is the desire to play well and show ambition. So we hold on to Rice after every poor performance. The narrative is always about Rice.
That does concern me.
Well, if I may, on that front, I've made this comment before, Josh. If you go back, or Joshua, you might not like being called Josh. Sorry. If you go back through a few videos, I've made this comment before. Declan Rice is the captain on the football pitch, right? Mm-hmm. Jordan Henderson for Liverpool, you know, whoever it is for City, because they've got so many fantastic fucking players. Arsenal, you know, the captain's on the pitch. Now, for me, if a player can see something's not happening, or the captain can see that something isn't quite right on the football pitch, the captain, as being the manager on the football pitch, is should make changes. He should be able to call the shots on the pitch as he sees it, right? And I think Declan Rice should be doing that.
Brilliant performance as far as I'm concerned.
So, you know, for me, you know, I think he should be on the pitch. You know, right, okay, why is that not, you know, why is it that, you know, he's not calling the shots on the pitch? Why is it that, you know, he's not making the changes that he can see? If, you know, last night, I'll use this as an instance. Why? Sorry, Rob.
What's this? West Ham fan. Oh, hang on.
Yeah, we'll just change our name. It don't matter. We'll just keep becoming Warriors. You know, if he can see that we're being, if he can see we're being overrun in midfield, then I would, because I think the guy needs his confidence built, and he can be a fantastic player.
I think, I'll be honest, I think he's had his confidence damaged by Moyes rotating him out of the team when he's been playing well.
but it's also consistency. There needs to be consistency from him as well. He has one good game. He has one bad game. He has one good game. He has 3 bad games.
I don't know. Beginning of this season, he'd have one good game and then he'd be slung back on the bench. And after a little while, he's just
I'm
gone.
not going to disagree with that. I'm not going to disagree with that was the case, because it was the case, and I'm not going to. It's Becca. It ain't even worth talking about. If as I say, if he can see we're being overrun in midfield, for instance, then he's got to be saying to, I don't know, whoever's a little bit further forward, I need you to drop in. Pablo, I need you to drop in, create a third person in here like we did last night. We'll drop Lucas Paqueta can go out and cover your gap over there that you create on the left. Bowen can come in so we can squeeze the middle. We're being overrun. That's what the captain should be doing, right? Yeah. And if you go back to James, thank you. If you go back, I've said this numerous times that should be the case. We've been to games, Rob, where I've come up to you from my seat and I've said to you, we're being overrun in midfield. Someone needs to be dropping in. Pablo Fornals or Paqueta needs to be dropping a little bit deeper, because right now we're being overrun.
I'm confused now. Now I'm confused. I probably shouldn't be. Mind you, hang on. If that's the same East side, you haven't answered my question. If we finish 14th and win the Conference League, is that a successful season? Yes or no?
He had to change he had to change back from East side to West Ham, Sam back to East side again.
It's like when the Doctor changes form. 1 minute he's David Tennant, then he's Matt Smith, then he's Peter Capaldi.
Matt Smith was...
And then he's a woman. He's a she. That's Smith really confusing.
Matt Smith went from being Doctor Who to Prince Philip to Prince Damon, for fuck's sake. He's all over the gaff. He went from being a doctor to 2 princes. It was quite impressive.
That is true, Kent. Small mercies. There's always someone worse off. Sorry, Villa fans. Not that any of them probably watch this.
We could be Norwich, Rob.
Oh, Jesus.
We could be Norwich and Fulham.
Norwich. Now, that's where Liz Truss is from, isn't it?
Oh, listen, the whole country's fucked, isn't it? That's not even... I was going to say it could be worse. We could be England.
No. Steve.
That's Rob.
Real simple question. Like I say, forget about whether you think we will, whether we won't. Just for the purposes of discussion, if we win the Conference League, whether you think we will or won't is irrelevant. If we win it and we finish 14th, is that a successful season? Yes or no? Let me know. I'm not trying to sort of, trick you or anything like that. It's a simple yes or no question. If we win the Conference League and we finish 14th, do you class that as a successful season? Yes or no? That's all I got. Didn't we beat Fulham? Yes, we did, Steve. Yes, we did. He is also a vampire, Duke. Matt Smith is also... You forgot to mention his talents as a Transylvanian... Well, there you go. Miss Hammerett just turned up.
Hey, Kate.
Hope you're well. Hope you are well.
Having a mother. Oh!
It's broken now, is it?
I think so.
Should we do player ratings, old chap?
Can we?
Again, I haven't done a graphic for this, ladies and gentlemen. I do apologise. So I'm just going to hit this button and we're just going to hope for the best. There we go. Makes it look a little bit more funky. Okay, Lucas Fabianski.
6. I'm going to keep it very, very quick, very straightforward, very simple. I'm going to get rid of that. Can we get our names up? How do we get our names up on the banners?
Hold on. Ask and it shall be given.
I want it to be given. Thanks. There you go. Oh, I can't. I've got nothing else. You know when they say you should never pause Disney films? I feel the same should be said about Rob. Anyone else feel like that should be the case? Yeah, I'm going to go 6. I know I can see some comments in the chat that, hi Anton. Sharky says he should have got an 8. Kent says 7. I'm going to go 6. He didn't have a bad game. He didn't have a great game. It was one of them. Did you like that, Rob? Did it absolutely?
You broke my internet. You broke my internet. How very dare you?
I did have apparently at the end there after Steve. The other bloke is Steve apparently, but it said I could only have 50. I couldn't have more than 50 letters, so I had to take that out.
Okay, fair enough. Hang on, just having a look, just catching up on the who've we got. Yeah, so Fabianski, what have you given him, mate?
I went 6.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't think he had a great game. Didn't think he had a shit game. I paid 60 for mine, mate. That's nice. And on.
I thought he had a good game. I thought he did all right. He made a couple of decent saves.
Hey,
I thought he did all right. I'd give him. I think I'd give him at least a 7 myself.
Yeah,
there you go. Let's shift across to left back, Mr. Cresswell.
Again, I didn't think he was too bad.
Thank you, Kate.
Thank you. Need to meet you. Yeah, I don't think he had a bad game. Actually, I think he's. You'll probably tell me otherwise. I thought his passing was quite good. I thought he was. He defended really well. I'm actually going to give him 7.
Yeah, I thought he was okay. Nothing to write home about. I thought he did his job. Nothing, no frills, no sort of like added extra sort of thing, if you like that sort of thing. I think I'd probably give him a 6, which is not a bad score. Okay. He had an okay game. I'm just looking here. Pass success was 81%, which is okay, not earth shattering. He took 1 corner, made 2 tackles, and went on 1 dribble. So yeah, so okay. Defensively, he was all right. Offensively, did he offer enough? Arguable, I suppose. Away at Anfield, the way we were set up, what did you expect? So yeah, I'll give him a 6. Ben Johnson, this could be interesting.
Four.
Yes.
And it all does come down to.
I'm about to go out and come back in. Bear with.
Piss off. It all comes down to the goal, Rob. For me, I don't think his positioning there was great. He gave the ball away quite a few times, if my memory serves. His passing wasn't positive enough for me. If that helps, you're doing it again. It's just amazing. It is just so much fun to see you go mid and then come back again. It's just brilliant. But yeah, 4. I blame him for the goal. And as I say, I honestly don't think his stats would have been very good last night either. I think he passed the ball out of play twice.
I'm probably gonna agree with you. I'm gonna go 4. I think 3 is probably a bit too harsh. But fundamentally, he made an error that
won a dentist.
The only goal of the match.
He was in a gigolo hall.
Steady. It's meant to be a sort of like a studio. That's what it's meant to be. If it looks like a dentist's, then
no, he said when you had your mouth open.
Oh, got it. I thought you meant the surroundings.
I said no. I said you
but-
weren't at the dentist. You were
Yeah,
at the
no, I
dentist.
like I
You
say,
weren't-
I
you
do
weren't at
wonder
dentist
how
hands,
much
you
of
were
a
waiting
miss
for it in your
was
mouth.
Craig. Oh, hang on, what's just happened now? Am I
You're
back?
back.
Oh,
Yeah.
all right, okay.
All right.
I'll tell you what. Can I just
Fullback.
share this with you, right? Because
Please
I
do.
reported this problem to Sky for the second time. They
All right.
sent me a text message this morning at 9:07 saying it's all done, it's fine, don't worry. I turned around to my son a little bit before we got started and said, "Oh, apparently the internet's sorted." And he turned around and said, "You're having a laugh, aren't you?" I went, "What's that?" I was in the front room. He stood right by the broadband router, and he's gone. The fucking light's gone off, and I'm like, "Oh God, I'm doing a live stream later."
Can I
Anyway.
just say quickly, anyway, there's 32 or 31 of you watching now. Can you give us a like on the video?
Please. And
Come
share
on.
us on your social media platforms.
Come on.
Please.
31 of
Please.
you. Sort your shit out.
And if
Let's
you
go.
haven't, make sure you subscribe. But
I'm going to go on and like it, Rob.
yeah, why not?
Even though I'm going to see my own
It's
face.
allowed.
Get it on mute quickly, because otherwise we're going to have that feedback and all.
Ooh.
Yeah, we've got 13 likes now with me. Can we
Hey.
get 14
I'll tell you
likes?
what.
Can we get some more?
I'll tell you
Come
what.
on.
Real quick.
Shit,
I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I've liked it as Falls from Iron. And
You can't like it as yourself, you plum.
why not?
Because that's just a bit embarrassing. It's like liking your own Facebook status.
Shut up.
All right.
No one will know. I can edit this bit out, remember?
Sharky's asked, what's your internet speed? I'm going to tell him it's 3.
Not fucking fast enough when it crashes. It's meant to be like that Sky Fiber, but it's fine when it works like this. But then all of a sudden, there's like these 3 lights on the router, and the one in the middle will just go off, and that's it, bang. So, yeah, I'm going to agree. I'm going to say Ben Johnson's a 4. As I say, I do wonder how much of a miss Craig Dawson was, because I think that had he been playing. Am I back?
Yeah, you're back now.
Fuck's sake. Honestly, this is...
Love it. It's tickling me. I like it a lot. Oh, he's gone again. This is just amazing. Oh, it just makes my... I'm going to just piss him off. Let's kick him out. Do me fucking self. Where were we? Johnson. I can't... Zuma. 6. Didn't stand out. Weren't great. Weren't poor. That's all I got, really. Oh, he's back. Yeah, hurry up. It's just I don't get over there. Fuck's sake.
All right, okay, yeah, all right. Honestly, it's just fucking ridiculous. I pay top dollar for this, and they tell me it's fixed, and it ain't. So if anyone watching this has got anything to do with Sky Fiber, right? If I wasn't locked into a contract, I would very gladly get that internet router that's behind me, and I would stick it straight up your. Should we move on to the next player?
Yeah, I just did Zuma. I said Zuma was. I gave him a 6.
Almost got an own goal, didn't he? It was one of those where it was like, oh, if that had just been a couple of inches lower, it'd have been a fuck up, but it was a brilliant clearance.
A perfect bit of defending.
Yeah, it was as you said. There's a fine line sometimes.
He knew what he was doing.
Yeah.
Even Anton says he should get a 7. That interception that put the ball on the bar was unreal.
Fair enough. I'm gonna go 6. I think he, again, okay, nothing special. As I say, it's one of those. What? I haven't dropped out again, have I?
No, just this. Yeah, that one.
That one. Yeah. Actually, I think my internet probably lasts longer than most prime ministers that we could mention.
Well, more than likely, mate, I think. Oh, I'll tell you what, fuck it. Let me give him a 7. I'll change my mind.
Yeah? Okay. Tilo Kera?
I'm going to give him a 7 as well.
Okay.
I think it was him that was turned a bit too easy for the volley by Nunez that hit the post.
Fair Fair point, Anton.
And I do wish that I do wish that Dawson or even Bonner had been fully fit last night to have put Kehrer.
Take care, Ken.
To put Kehrer out at right back. That's kind of where I'm at. But no, I'm going to give Kehrer a 7 as well. Good night, Kent. Take it easy, buddy.
Take care, mate. I'm going to go a 6 again. I'm probably being really stingy, but we didn't win the game. So, maybe I'm in a little bit of a mood because of that. But there you go. Who's next? We'll go. I'll tell you what. We'll go. As I say, they had him down as a right midfielder. Whether he was, whether he wasn't, is open to interpretation. But talk to me about Flynn Downs making his Premier League debut.
I actually said last night, Rob, and got a lot of agreements from even Liverpool fans that are watching. Yes, Sharky, I am every single game, and I can't. The only one that pisses me off is the Iran game against England. It's 1 o'clock on a Monday afternoon. Like, what's that shit?
Is that the one on the 21st?
Yeah.
I've got that day off booked for holiday.
The pub's open, mate. Come over. For me, Downs.
My home internet is apparently working now. Should I come off of here and go back via
Go on. Off you go.
All right, give me a minute.
I'll say it, and hopefully you'll hear it as you come back on. I actually made a comment, and Liverpool fans last night were in agreement as well when I turned around and said that Flynn Downs reminds me. He looks like one of them genetically engineered dinosaurs out of Jurassic Park. It's like, hey, Ken's beaten me to it. Ken has beaten me to it. Noble, Carrick, and I actually said Parker and Rice in there as well. I actually said Noble, company. Carrick, Rice. I didn't say Carrick. I said Noble, Parker, and Rice is. But I agree with Kent's comment there about Carrick. He seems so unflappable on the ball, Rob. He does a combination of the Noble 180s and the Parker 360, or the Noble 360s and the Parker 180s. He does all of that. And it's I need to see this guy start more. I'm actually at a point where I'd love to see us play a 4-3-3 when Cornet's back, Cornet, Bowen and Skamaka with those three, and Downs being the middle of the three, anchoring, allowing Rice and Souček to go forward. It's what Souček is good at. It's what Rice wants to do, and he's getting better at. And then still having someone that can anchor you in the middle of the park. And then we need to get Cornet back fit, because I think that's going to be amazing. Kehrer at right back, Zuma and Agard, Nathan.
Yes.
It could be, mate, after the World Cup. People are saying we win the bottom three after the World Cup. Fuck it, we could win the league after the World Cup with that lot coming back. I tell you. I was saying about delusions.
You're going a little bit over the top there, aren't you? Win the league?
Hey, Conference League. That's what I meant.
Right. Fair enough. Talk to me about Declan Rice, the captain.
Hang on, I didn't give him a score.
Oh, you didn't?
Going to give him an 8.
8.
Going to give him a 9, Rob. I'm going all in. Downs gets a 9.
Do you know what? I was going to disagree with you, but now I'm agreeing with you because I was going to go 9.
Yeah,
and it might be slightly tinged by the fact that I think that he's a cracking player and he's a West Ham fan and yada yada yada. Mate, to make your Premier League debut at Anfield, midweek game under the lights. Although it has to be said that the fabled Anfield atmosphere. I didn't see it so much, but mate, I didn't hear it.
Mate, they don't have an atmosphere. I don't know if you saw something that was posted either late last season or early this season. An away fan went to Anfield and he recorded a video of "You'll Never Walk Alone." Okay, as most people would. And the fans are up, they're belting it as loud as fuck, right? It's amazing. During the game, Rob, it's like they've had their mouths sewed shut. Do you know where the atmosphere comes from at Anfield?
The away fans?
No, it's piped through speakers, Rob. The home atmosphere is piped through speakers at Anfield. You can hear the away fans because they sing louder, but the atmosphere at Anfield, that rumbling that you get, just generic crowd noise, it's all pumped in through speakers. It's embarrassing. I even had Liverpool fans agreeing with me when I made that comment last night that they know that's true.
We've got a few of them as well, in fairness, Sharky.
We have, but we make a lot of fucking noise.
We can. I do. We have moments. We have matches where the atmosphere has been a little bit.
FCSB was one of them, I felt. But
yeah, but that was probably more to do with the passing of the Queen than anything else.
Yeah.
If I'm being honest. So you're giving him a 9. I'm going to agree. I think to make your debut away at Liverpool, Anfield, after a Liverpool team that coming off the back of beating City. There's a lot of players that I think might have been playing within themselves. Do you know what I mean? As far as their capability levels are concerned. No. He went out there and he went, I'm going to fucking show you who I am. I'm going to show you what I'm all about. And I dare you, David Moyes. I dare you. I double dare you to drop him for the next game. I dare you. You can't drop him after that, Mr. Moyes. You absolutely can't. And I don't care if Paqueta's fit. I really don't. He's got to stay in.
Never do that again.
You didn't like my Samuel L. Jackson?
No, it's cultural appropriation. Never do it
again.
Oh,
shut up. Shut up. It's a line from a film. Behave. Load of old bollocks. Get on with it. Declan Rice.
10.
Ooh.
10, Superman, man of the match, best player in the fucking Premier League, best player at his age, in his position in the world. Outstanding. Absolutely outstanding last night. You look at his stats, absolutely fucking brilliant. Superb.
Yeah. Can I give him a 10? I'm not going to. I'm going to give him a 9 because I again, probably a little bit of a sentimental viewpoint. I want to give Flynn Downs the honour of being the man of the match. So I'm going to give Rice a 9 simply for that reason. I could turn around and say, well, I'll tell you what, I'll give them both a 10, but I think I'd be pushing my luck for a team that lost 1-0 and only had 3 shots on target. But I'm going to give him a 9, but he was magnificent last night. And anyone that wants to turn around to me and say, not so sure that he is world class, he is. Trust me. Every time he's asked to step up a level, and I know there's been games this season like Nottingham Forest away and this, that, and the other where he hasn't operated at that level. But cometh the hour, cometh the man. And Declan Rice, we didn't lose yesterday because Declan Rice didn't perform. We lost yesterday in spite of his performance.
Yeah, agreed.
So, Thomas Souček.
7.
Yep.
Again, I agree with what Anton said. I'm going back to it, sorry.
Oh, yep.
And Souček did themselves a great turn last night. Souček put in a shift yesterday. I know there are a lot of fans that are not his biggest fans. I actually think that he's turning the corner, Rob, and he's coming back to his own.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just looking here. His past stats and never wonderful. I mean, there's 76% okay. Actually, I didn't realise Flynn Downs' past stats were 67%, which what he's kicked out in the last couple of times he's played, that's markedly down. But he sort of got his score up in other areas. But for Thomas Souček, just looking here, he won 2 aerial duels. But look at this, 6 tackles won. He was busy in the middle of the park.
He was, but I think he was aided by having I think he was aided by having Downs in there as well, offering
It's
that support.
So it's player ratings. We're not rating the team. You can play an 8 or a 9 out of 10 performance individually and lose a match because the team didn't gel. You weren't good enough. But we can give 8s or 9s. There's no rule against it. It's an opinion.
Their performances.
Yeah, I mean, I could give the whole team 6s and 7s, and we might win the game 1-0.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry about that.
So, each to their own, isn't it?
Yeah. So Souček's a 7. Yeah, I'm in agreement with that, mate. I can't really go against that. Mr. Fornals on the left wing. That left wing maestro, Pablo Fornals.
Left wing is quite troublesome for us at the moment, in the same way that right back is, in my opinion.
Yep. Well, at least we're balanced.
Give me his stats, Rob, before I make a.
Okay, right. Let's have a
Before I
look
make
here. Pablo Fornals didn't have a shot. His pass success was 80%. He attempted 2 dribbles. He didn't have any aerial duels. He didn't have any tackles to his name. He didn't take a corner, and he was not dispossessed at any point.
Well, that's the only thing that goes
Fairly
for it,
uneventful.
I'm going to go 5.
Yeah. Yeah,
I'm going to go
it's
5.
sort of
Just
4 or 5 performance.
Yeah, it wasn't great. It's slap bang. It's a sickeningly average performance. When if you think if he could have got a 7, 8, or even a 9 performance, the scoreline might have been different.
Yeah, I mean his offensive stats and his defensive stats. Either way you look at it, what did he contribute? With all due respect to him, he was there, but it was like, look, you remember a few weeks ago. When was it? Was it the Anderlecht away game? And I was quite critical of Lanzini's performance.
Yeah.
And I said it was like he wasn't on the pitch. He offered nothing offensively, defensively, nothing. He was a ghost. Well, that was Pablo Fornals last night. He was
Very
a
much
ghost.
so.
I'm going to give him a 4. I'm going to give him a 4 because I don't think he contributed anything, to be quite honest with you. But that's just my opinion. How about Jared Bowen?
See, this is a difficult one because he didn't stop running even after the penalty miss. You could see that he wanted to make up for it.
Yep.
I'm going to give him a 6. I'm going to mark him down because of the penalty miss. Let me rephrase that. I'm going to mark him down because he didn't score the penalty. It wasn't a miss. I actually kick myself with that phrase now because I hate the phrase. He missed a penalty. He didn't miss a penalty. Goalkeeper did the goalkeeper's job. He hit the target. The keeper saved the penalty. If he misses the target, then then you can say he missed the penalty. He didn't miss the penalty. The goalkeeper saved the penalty. The goalkeeper did his job. Bowen didn't, but he didn't miss the target, so he didn't miss the penalty. It was, to be honest, Lee, I don't think it was a good save. It was a predictable save because of.
I don't think it was a good penalty, so I don't think you can say it was that good a save.
For me, it's a bog standard save. If I can, Rob.
Yeah.
I'm going to take this comment.
Crack on.
The reason I say it's not a miss, Hammerhead, is I've played football, I've played at a good standard, and I've had penalties saved by goalkeepers. On the verge of a hat trick, on the verge of qualifying for an FA Cup, the next round of the FA Cup, I had got to take a penalty, and I have to say it's one of the best saves I've ever seen a goalkeeper make. You know, one of them saves where it sticks to your glove one-handed, Rob. It's one of them. It was bottom bins. It was a great save.
That must have hurt, though.
He gets up, he kicks it, bounces over our defender's head. Their goalkeeper, their striker races through, and the next thing you know, it's 2-2,
no.
and we have to go for a replay against Torquay.
Did you win?
No, we lost 4-3. I got my hat trick, but we lost 4-3.
Who was that playing for?
Here from Belvedere.
Okay.
Many, many, many moons ago. as a child. In fact, if you go by my age, I was 15. A
Fair
long
enough.
time ago. 30
Ah.
coming out 29 years ago. So yeah, I don't like saying that
39, did you say?
you would have been when I played. So yeah, I don't like the phrase he missed the penalty. No, the goalkeeper saved it.
Well, it was on target.
And
It
that's
goes
it.
down as an on-target shot.
And that's the whole reason I use that phrase. He didn't miss it. The goalkeeper saved it, because I've been there. Same, in fact, same sort of penalty Bowen took. It was I'm right-footed, so I went across the keeper to his bottom left, and he got a big old fat L. His right, my going across to my left. Big fat hand behind it. Good save. And listen. One of the best penalty saves I've ever seen. The fucking ball stuck to his glove. It's not like it was one of them. It's hit his palm and bounced out. This thing hit there.
Yeah,
and stayed. And I was like, brick. So that's why. That's the only reason. That's the only
brought
reason.
back some bad memories, did it?
Yeah, it did. Yeah.
Don't want to talk about it. Right. Okay. So you've given him a 6, did you say?
6. Yeah.
Okay. Right.
Marked down. It would have been a 7, but 6.
Right.
In fact, it probably
okay.
would have been an 8 if he'd scored it. To be fair.
And lastly, Gianluca Scamacca.
Shit, Darwin Núñez.
Oh.
It's just anyway. I was actually quite disappointed with him a bit yesterday.
Yes.
There was no. I also think he suffered from the lack of Lucas Paqueta. I think
Possibly.
they've developed quite an understanding, and I think he missed having Paqueta on in the lineup, as I think he realises he can make those runs, and Paqueta will find him with the passes back to goal, face to front to goal, whatever. Paqueta will find him. You're not going to get the same from Fornals. You're not going to get the same from Souček. So it's, I'm not saying that doesn't forgive a bad performance, but it explains it. Do you know what I mean? Do you see where I'm coming from?
Can I pose a question then?
Please.
If the absence of Paqueta was that fundamental to getting the best out of our big money striker, and therefore maximising our chances of getting something, anything away from home, why on earth then did David Moyes, in your opinion, not put someone on the pitch that could be considered a like-for-like replacement for Paqueta in Ben Rama?
Because I think he was going with the 3 at the back, and we all know that if Trent decided to go wandering last night, Ben Rama doesn't track. He's only done it a couple of times. Ben Rama doesn't track. If Trent goes wandering, you need someone to track Trent.
So we're back to the containment thing.
Yes, but it does. For me, it fundamentally comes down to Ben Rama doesn't track, Fornals will. So in hindsight, Trent didn't go wandering. He didn't go forward. We saw that on that graphic. His average position was, high defence, pretty much. He was on the halfway line. His average position normally would be, somewhere down by the corner flag of the opposition. I think Moyes has kind of preempted that a little bit and decided that if he does go wandering, we're going to have Fornals there. The only other way you probably could have combated it would have been to take Souček out of the team and then brought in Ben Rama to play in the 10. But then you're going to unsettle that or you're going to unbalance that midfield 3 that we had, which you're going to take a player that we gave a 7 to as a defense, in his his play. So I mean, listen, I'm not saying it's right. I'm just giving you my my thoughts on why Fornals was there. It's that for me, it's always going to be if Trent goes a wandering, you need Fornals there to track because Benny wasn't going to or doesn't.
Okay. Yeah. Fair enough.
That's my only
So what you going for Skamaka again? Sorry.
I'm actually going to agree with some of the comments. I'm actually like Neil. I'm going to agree with Neil.
You going 5?
It's a 5. I wouldn't say that he didn't. There were points I got quite frustrated. I felt he looked a little bit uninterested, and the fact that other than the penalty, our best opportunity fell to Thomas Souček, again arriving late in the box. You know, the one that hits Milner's knee and Ellison Czar, whatever his name is. It Ellison?
Alisson.
No,
Alisson Becker.
Edison's the other one. It's his arse.
Yep.
I kind of wish that had been Skamaka in that position because I have a feeling it might have been a different outcome to have a natural goal scorer in that position. I know Lady Luck would have to be on our side as well, and we can say what if, we can sit here and say, what if this happened? What if my aunt had bollocks? She'd be my uncle. It's hindsight and it's great, but it's not going to do us any favours now. You know what I mean?
I'm going to give him a 4, which probably sounds incredibly harsh, but
no.
I'm looking here. He had 2 shots. Neither of them were on target. But this is the one, and all right, I don't judge a centre forward solely by this metric, but Jesus Christ, his pass success yesterday was 30%. For every 10 passes he would have attempted, he would have completed 3. That's pathetic. No other word for it.
No, it's not great.
Pathetic. Yes, I don't judge a striker by pass stats solely, but that has to be part of my criteria, and that's absolutely piss poor. Dribbles 0, aerials 1, tackles 1, 0, and he was dispossessed once. All in all, a very, very disappointing game for a guy that cost us nearly 36 million quid. Whether it was because of Paqueta wasn't there or not, fundamentally at the end of the day, he's got a job to do.
Even as Neil says, he felt there might have been, traces of the virus that's been doing the rounds in the camp. But we'll never know at the end of the day because, it won't make no difference now because the game's done and gone. We can just move on now. We're going to have to move on. There can be some limited. There will be some. What do they call it? When you're in the
post-mortem.
That's the one. When they're cutting open bodies, I was going to say thank you. There will be post-mortems. That's what we do. That's what we're here for. That's what Hammers Chat are there for. That's what the other chats are here for. But it's done. Nothing's going to change now. We just have to move on.
Yeah. They're doing a post-mortem at number 10 Downing Street at the minute.
Well, they've been doing them near enough every other week, Rob.
Here, by the time we do our next broadcast, well, no, not the next one, the one after Tuesday, we might have a new Prime Minister. How'd you like that?
Do you want to know something funny?
Go on.
Someone on Twitter posted earlier, my kid, my child, has seen 2 monarchs, 2 prime ministers, 3 home secretaries and 4 chancellors.
How old?
4 months.
It's crazy, isn't it?
You can't make it up, mate. You can't make it up.
Yeah. Anyway. Do you want to give an honourable mention to your mate?
I actually think he played really well.
Came off the bench.
I actually think he played really well when he came on. I'm going to give him a 7. And the reason it's not an 8 is we got nothing out of the game. There was no end product from it. Do you know what I mean? If he'd got an assist, then it's all worthwhile. As it was, he's being judged on the metric of what goes on going forward. Let's try. He's judged on the metric of what we're doing going forward. Where Declan Rice is judged on a metric. He's judged on the metric of we're going forward and defensively, same as Souček and Downs. Then that's why they get the higher mark. But Benrahma's judged, Bowen's judged, Skamaka's judged on what goes on the top end of the pitch. So for me, I'll give him a 7, but he looked the best player. In fact, he looked the player most likely in the entire game, even though he came on when he did. The only one that looked like he was going to make something happen.
Yeah, I mean, just looking here at his stats, I mean, he had a 29-minute cameo off of the bench. Here's some of his stats. He managed one shot on goal, which was the one that dropped out of the air, and he had like a side foot volley, if you remember.
That one, I did call him a name there.
He hit it into the ground, didn't he? And I just think it took a little bit of the pace, and it was probably a bit too close to Alisson.
I did want it to be. I did want there to be a hell of a lot more out of that one. If I'm honest, I felt that if he tried to control it and got a quick shot away, there was. I felt
sure
there
he
was
had
enough
time.
No, I felt there was. I
Really?
do felt that if it would have been a snapshot. It would have been a snapshot, but I felt that there was enough time to get a bit of control on it and then get a quick shot away. That being said, as I say, I felt he was the most likely to, create a goal or get us a goal across the board. Then,
Thank you, James.
It's made me laugh. Can we just quickly go back to Ahmet's comment? I was in the middle of reading that as that came through. So do you guys really can adapt, change? You guys, his whole squad. Is there a go? I'd like to think so, Ahmet. I would like to think so. I would like to think that the likes of Nolan, the likes of the bread man, what's his name?
Warburton.
It's the fact that you called him Breadman as well. I love it. Nolan, Warburton, is it Irvine? Yeah, Irvine. There's enough players
Irvine's
there.
Not there anymore. It's Billy McKinley.
McKinley, that's it. No, Irvine. McKinley. So I was playing Football Manager earlier. He's, Irvine's my assistant manager. I would like to think that those players, the former players anyway, will be able to bring him round. Do you know what I mean? That I think Noble needs to start banging the Benrahma drum a little bit more, but I also think he needs to start banging Benrahma, banging on it, but not banging Benrahma. That's a whole different. that's a whole different channel.
God.
That's a whole different channel on. That's a whole different channel on the internet. But I think that he needs to start banging on at Benrahma about being able to track and defend as well, so we can get into the team. Because listen, we know that Moyes, we know that Moyes is very stuck in his ways, but he also likes a player that grafts. He's a player that has a high work rate, and sometimes Benrahma doesn't necessarily show that defensively, if you know what I mean. So if we know Nolan is very much a pro Benrahma, not quite in the same vein as some of our viewers are, but he's very much a pro Benrahma player that a fan that. I feel that he would need to start upping that work rate defensively as well, for Moyes to be able to I can't answer that. For Moyes to be able to have him there. Actually, you know what, DJ, he was all right.
He was a shit Andy Carroll before the whistle went.
He was a shit Andy Carroll, but a better version of Gianluca Scamacca. I actually have to say, I actually have to say there was part of me that had a feeling he was going to show. I did have that. The moment I said that he's a shit Andy Carroll on the preview stream, I had a feeling he was going to show and score. Someone did tell me, yeah, I know, Joe. I know he did say that that he. Oh, careful, Joe. He'll write a story about you. Yeah, I did say someone came on and said, "Thanks, Duke, you score a hat trick now." The goal was a very simple goal, if you want. Do you know what I mean? It's a very it's very straightforward. I'd expect players like him at £87 million to put that ball in the back of the net like that.
They didn't pay that much for him, did they?
Rob. So let me tell you a story. West Ham offered £45 million for Darwin Núñez in the January transfer window. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
We then changed our mind because Moyes was he did his due diligence. No.
Okay.
Liverpool made the phone call to the chairman. Was it Benfica?
Yep.
Liverpool made Liverpool made the offer. They made the phone call to the Benfica chairman. This is the Benfica chairman has actually put this out there.
Mm-hmm.
He said they phoned us up and they offered 67 million up front with 20 million in a further set of add-ons. Hasn't come out and said what the add-ons are, but with the add-ons, it's an extra 20 million. So it's 87 million pound. He hung up the phone. He agreed to the deal. He hung up the phone. Okay. He then phoned his receptionist and the manager, got the manager in his office, asked the receptionist to order a shit ton of champagne because, in his words, they felt like they'd just won the lottery. They'd already had a deal done with. They'd already done a deal with West Ham for £45 million in January. They were willing to accept £45 million, right? Liverpool phoned up and went 67 with £27 million in add-ons. Benfica went, yeah, fucking idiots, let's take it. And then his words, we felt like we won the lottery. We'd already agreed a deal with 45 million. They've paid 22 million pound more, plus the possibility of another 20 million on top of that. It's, for me, it's insane. Right, they could have got him, and for me, does he look like? And you know, you compare him like with the price tag to someone like Haaland. Duke X didn't say this, so stop lying. How about Eastside?
I didn't believe you mentioned X at all.
I didn't mention X once. I actually mentioned the Benfica chairman. Go Google it for fuck's sake. I can't even with you. This isn't true. I asked X. How about just go Google it? It was online. I read the fucking thing online. I read the fucking news report. Such a gun.
Should we call it a night there, old chap?
I want to. Before we do, I want to ask Eastside one question.
He hasn't answered my question yet.
No, I know he hasn't, but it is what it is. I want to ask Eastside why he feels it necessary to be such a fucking troll. And I think it's a perfectly valid question. Why do you feel it necessary to be a fucking troll? Because there's no need for it. You can come on here, you can say, well, I disagree with that, and then move on. You haven't got to be a cunt, which you act like an absolute one, to be fair. And I don't understand why. And you know, you act. You are a troll. You are a troll. Why am I so rude? Because I'm bored of fucking idiots like you, mate. To be honest with you, you don't have to come on here. You don't have to watch this. You don't have to come on and make comments. And I've got a question for you, boy. Mate, behave your fucking self. Will you go? Listen, if you are who I think you are, go back to your own channel. You've not put a video out for a month. I've already checked. Go have a little play with yourself on your own channel. Go slag off a 14-year-old boy. Go slag off a Newcastle fan that you've made some allegations about. Go mention your little Welsh friend. I don't give a shit. I don't care. Okay, you're just a knob that. I don't even know why I even bother giving you the time of day, my man. I really don't.
Final thoughts on the match yesterday?
I actually thought we did really well. I actually thought the second half was significantly better. I actually believe that we could have come away with that with a little bit of luck. I know you say we make our own luck. I feel that, with a little bit of luck, the penalty goes in. We had a little bit of luck when they hit the post. It was a fantastic effort, brilliant football by Nunes for that one. And the little bit of luck with the one at the end that comes off. Cheers, Ahmed. The one that comes off his knee. It's Alisson's bum goes wide. Those little bits of luck kind of changed the dynamic of that game. All of a sudden, it's 2-1 West Ham, and I feel in the same kind of way as I did when we came out of the Forest game. I kind of felt that. Bored of it now. I felt like we did when we came out. I've blocked him. I've kicked him off the channel. I don't want him here. He can go make up shit wherever he wants. Like we were against Forest, I felt a little bit more luck in our favour. The scoreline's completely different. We also missed a penalty in that game as well.
Fair. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to thank.
Offer an apology to you that I bit there at the end. I shouldn't have done, and
That's all right. That's okay.
I'm
Don't
annoyed
worry.
with myself.
Don't worry. No, that's cool. For you, ladies and gentlemen, that have stayed with us to this point in proceedings, thank you very much indeed for doing so. Please don't go anywhere because we have an important message for you. Forge from Iron is proud to support Iron Supporting Food Banks. They are a group of West Ham United fans and friends inspired by the work of other football fan food banks around the country. They collect food and cash donations from Newham Food Bank in Beckton, who supply 7 distribution centres in the borough, 7 days a week, and hand out several hundred 3-day emergency food packs every month to families in need. They are also working with other groups to improve conditions for vulnerable adults and children in the Newham community. They are supported in their efforts by West Ham United Football Club, the WHU Foundation, LS185, London Legacy Development Corporation, Newham Council, the Met Police, Spire London East Hospital, Expedient Security, and a large number of West Ham and football fans. You can help by making a donation to their Just Giving page. You will find the link to this in the description section of the video details in this stream. Thank you for your support. Come on, you Irons. And please don't forget to like, comment on and share the stream to your social media platforms. Subscribe to our YouTube channel if you haven't done so already, and hit the bell icon for alerts of new content. We always thank you very much indeed for your support. Duke, what are we, my friend?
We are Mahusive Rob, and I think I found him on Facebook.